Hey, what's up, guys? This is Chris. You know me from Conversations with Chris, and now I'm the host of the Real Estate Podcast. And this podcast is brought to you by my homies over at NewToMedia.com. So go check them out. Each and every realtor that I'm looking at speaking with is going to be an amazing conversation. You guys are going to want to be here for this one. Trust me. Tune in, hit up New to Media, be on my show, the Real Estate Podcast. Let's do this thing. Namaste.
I would say 70% of it's probably safe. I think the news kind of, they show you a picture of, downtown on Market Street, and you got all the homeless people out there, but then they don't give you like what's going on in these neighborhoods over here where it's just, nothing's happening. So
yeah, they give you a very narrow perspective.
It's pretty safe,
Okay. So 70% is somewhere that you want to live. Average house price, we're looking at $1 million.
Yeah, $1 million at least.
Comfortably. Now, and that's downtown, or is that? I'm not familiar. I mean, is it like Golden Gate? You go over to live, and then you live and work downtown, or do people live in downtown?
Well, yeah. I mean, people live. So it's broken up into broken up into sectors. I mean, you've got San Francisco proper, which is like 7 by 7. That's going to include the downtown area. And then you've got all the neighborhoods around it. And then it branches out further than that. And you start getting into all these other neighborhoods and, that are further outside of that. So, and then you get into South San Francisco and it keeps going. And, it's not San Francisco proper, but it's San Francisco. So, I mean,
gotcha.
Yeah.
So people live down San Francisco. Huh? It's not actually like a travel into place. Like, is there a lot of big economy there, or is it like a?
Oh, it's huge. I mean, yeah. There's probably almost 1 million people that live in San Francisco now. There's probably 1.7 million from commuting, like the commute hours and stuff, like the work hours. There's people here, and then the tourism. You've got people coming in here just to see the Golden Gate Bridge, or do whatever, just come see San Francisco. So there's a lot of tourism.
Swim to Alcatraz. I want to swim to Alcatraz.
You want to do the Alcatraz swim? Yeah.
Well, I see the Great White show, and they say the Great Whites can't go in there. And then they just saw one attack a seal right off the island, and I was like, I think so.
Yeah.
Is that an actual thing? Swim?
Yeah, people swim. They do it. They swim. Yeah, they swim the channel.
No way. People really swim that? Like a lot?
Yeah, a lot. Yeah, they do. It's wild.
That is nuts. Like,
yeah, you can freeze out there. It's pretty cold. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. It's not like it's a nice, warm, relaxing swim. Anyway,
no.
Like in Florida, we get bit by sharks, but at least we're warm when we do it.
Yeah. So I mean, you got cold, the warm Atlantic waters.
Yeah, you got that cold water, man, and then you got like kelp and sea lions and like great whites. I don't know, maybe just not a good idea. Plus, isn't the island
not doing
it? No, neither of us is doing that. No, we're not.
Yeah,
I'll boat across.
Yeah, there you go. Take your chances on that.
That's right, exactly. I'd like to go see it. I think it'd be cool, because to me, it's like one of those places I've always had a vision of, and I've watched a lot of documentaries on it and stuff. And so I'm like, people could have escaped from this place, and I see how. Like, I see the options, but still, that water's cold, and the currents are nasty, and then you got sharks.
So you got to say to yourself, like, okay, they got out of the prison, but let's say they get to the water. You've got professional swimmers that find that thing hard, to do, and then so these guys are not. Yeah, I just wonder if anybody survived. That's my one.
Yeah, it'd be great for one person that survived it to come back out like 30 years later and be like, "Hey,
I did it.
It's closed now." So,
yeah,
you think it'll ever go up for sale? Because I always thought it'd make a cool house. Like
that'd be an amazing house.
It'd be amazing, wouldn't it, to be able to see the city from out there and build this really cool compound with like really cool, like privacy and boat to it, all that kind of stuff. It seems silly to shut it down and let it sit there, but it's being used as a museum.
Yep, it's pretty much a tourist attraction. Yeah,
it's also weird. It's probably one of the only prisons that you can tour in America. How many prisons are tour spots?
Yeah, it is weird. It's a tourist attraction. It's a national monument at this point.
It's weird.
Not doing anything.
We're definitely gonna have to do. Yeah. But I find that interesting. I bet you there's not another prison in America that's a tourist spot.
Yeah,
just that
probably not.
Man, there's got to be a place I can watch people swim. I'm going to Google it and see if I can find people swimming over there.
Yeah, there's got to be
a swim something to the island or from the island.
I think it's two people swim to Alcatraz. I think they swim to
get like a. Okay, see, I would never do that. I would swim away from it because I would actually pretend like I was running from prison. That would give me a little more adrenaline.
Like, a little more motivation. Yeah.
I want to swim to jail. Yeah. I'd rather ride the boat.
Yeah. I think they actually have people, they do these swims and they have these people out there in boats, protecting people in case they can't make it, so it's
there's got to be safety measures. We'd be losing people left and right.
Yeah, people would be drowning
Which
all the time.
Wouldn't be a bad idea. We could use a few people dropping off the earth, especially if you're dumb enough to swim across cold, freezing waters.
Exactly, swim at your own risk.
I think there was a comedian, what's his name, Bill Engvall, who used to say, "Here's your sign."
Yeah.
I feel like that's one of those opportunities. Like, help yourself.
Yeah,
have a nice swim. Sign here, liability release. All right, thank you very much. Have a great time. Yeah, I mean that's more or less how I'd see it going down. But it won't catch me doing that. So San Francisco, man, $1 million. How much square footage do I get for $1 million?
Well, probably about 1,200 to 1,300 square feet. Up higher than that, you're probably looking at I would say anything up over 2,000 square feet, you're going to be up in the 1.7, 1.9s. Like it's pretty intense. I mean, it's
ridiculous. It's getting it. Yeah.
You can just go on Zillow.
Especially for a place. Well, the place is so much animosity, I guess, or like lack of peace. I don't know how to say the right way. I'm not necessarily very politically correct because I'm not hip to all the new terms and pronouns.
Yeah.
Also, have a traumatic brain injury. I'm limited on what I can remember, so people got to have some patience for that.
So I understand that. Absolutely.
As a 100% disabled veteran, I get a pass. All right.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you for your service. I come from a military family, so my father was in the
thank you for your gratitude.
States Navy, and my brother was in the Army. So, absolutely, thank you for your service.
100%. Nice. Yeah, thank you for your gratitude, man. It's not something common these days, so I make sure to let people know, because it's a definite thing that we need to get back to. We got to get back to paying attention to our veterans and giving them
absolutely.
Yeah, I actually have a nonprofit for that purpose to get back to more veterans and hope to save some lives. There's a lot of suicides going on with that, and that's terrible.
Well, it's brutal.
It's terrible, terrible.
Yeah, there's not enough government's doing for veterans. It's
nothing. I can't remember the last improvement they've made for us.
Yeah,
I'm hopeful that this year, a couple more weeks, I'm hopeful we're going to have some changes for the vets.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with all that and whatever whoever gets in. I just hope that somebody. There's so many homeless veterans. Like it's just gotta. It's got to change. I don't even know what the tally is right now, but like it's one of my goals with real estate to try to help veterans. I haven't, had that opportunity yet, but I'd like to, be able to use my skills, my license, whatever it is. If I'm working with a veteran and I know you're a veteran, instantly, like we're gonna do something to help you, get in that home, whether it's reduce my commission or, if I can pay for something, I would love to do that. 100%.
Yeah. Well, definitely we'll stay in touch about that because I've got an not-for-profit and I just came up with an idea for building veteran villages out of tiny homes, where veterans could be with other veterans and come to what I am setting up as Vets to Yoga, which is a veteran program where I teach them how to do yoga, meditate, deal with society, become a civilian again, because it's not easy. What we go through is a lot. And when we come back, it's hard. So there needs to be someone teaching people how to deal with stuff, but also building a community for people where we can get some of these homeless vets off the street. That's a huge thing, and I think there's a lot of people that feel the same way as you and they want to help us, and I should try to help make that happen because it needs to. And so, these things are all being built, and all the stuff I'm doing now is 100% funding my efforts to help veterans because, I'm not doing this for me. I'm doing this for them. And I'd rather just go lay on bed or play golf or whatever, VR. Maybe that's a podcast. Yeah. But real estate's a great way to go. 20 years of real estate. Now I'm doing a real estate podcast, which 2 years of podcasting experience. So I'm a veteran by this point. I mean, podcasting's only been out for like 5, right? So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, this is my second podcast. I've been listening to podcasts since they started, so this is pretty cool for me. I'm glad I found Zach. You know, he's kind of given me the confidence to get on a podcast because I've listened to a million.
Yeah,
but now I'm excited to be on podcasts.
Have you heard my show?
No, I not yet. I got. I have to listen to it. I need to.
You'll like absolutely. It's real deep, good stuff. Like I really do go into some profound stuff. But I mean, it's been running for 2 years now, and you know, because of it, this came out of it. A number of other things have come out of it. You know, so it's nice because I don't, as you were, you know, hesitant to be on a podcast. You can imagine how hesitant I was to host one.
Yeah, and, absolutely.
You know, putting yourself out there is a really difficult thing to do. But putting yourself out there on a global level, on the World Wide Web, and then having to live up to who you say you are all the time, because people are like, "What do I remember?" Right? Yeah. So everybody wants to criticize, but you know, you got to stay steadfast who you are. But I realized that I was doing this for my children. Well, not this, my first podcast, because I wanted them to have access to my words, my voice, my information and wisdom when I'm long gone, because they don't want to hear it right now. They're not at an age where they want to listen to my wisdom. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
they'll appreciate it later.
But with head injuries, I don't know how longer later is for me. So this seemed like a logical way for me to get stuff on the internet and create a platform for them. So it's that was what started it all. Then I started doing this one because, man, I love real estate, but I'm tired of opening doors. I love real estate agents. I love the process of helping people buy homes. I love being involved. I'm still friends with almost every person I've ever done a transaction with.
Yeah,
and that's crazy. You know, what other business can you say that?
Yeah,
can you say? I mean, so it's like realtors. We connect with our people. We become a part of their family, and that's like. It's the biggest decision of their life, and they're trusting us to help them make it. And that's a lot of pressure. So to me, the opportunity to showcase realtors, because really we spend most of our time showcasing properties and a lot of times hiding ourselves. Well, I think it's important that they have an opportunity to meet the realtor and get to know the realtor and who the person is and what kind of personality, you know what I mean? Because, man, nobody wants to work with somebody they don't like.
They don't.
And so I'd rather you be able to sift through my podcast and go, yep, Ben's my guy. That guy's cool. I like him. I like his demeanor. I like his, you know, everything. He was just, instead of, you know, like, well, let's try this guy. He has a nice business card. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
So especially with all the new technology, AI stuff,
absolutely.
All that kind of stuff.
So tell me about your time in real estate, Chris. Have you been doing this a long time? Have you always been an agent? Have you done anything else in real estate?
Man, no, I did 6 years in the military and was supposed to fly F-22s when 2001 happened, and then 2001 killed that pilot program. And like I said, I had suffered a traumatic brain injury, so I was starting to struggle with things a little bit. So and then I got into real estate, but I started out with mortgages. And I hated it. Thought the paperwork was nauseating and it was going to drive me to death. So I was like, all right, let me transition to real estate. So I transitioned over, but when I did, I went into new home sales, like you said. And I don't know how it works out there, but out here, you don't have to have a license to do new home sales as long as the builder is only in one county. And so,
interesting.
So you could sell homes for them without a license. So for 2 years, 2004 to 2006, I was selling homes for a builder, new home builder. So effectively practicing real estate. And then when I left them in 2006, I decided to go ahead and get my license and go do real estate, general real estate. Well, I went to a general real estate office and they offered me the sales and marketing director position. So I became the sales and marketing director at a real estate office, had my license, but I wasn't actually practicing real estate, if that makes sense. I was literally creating the sales and marketing. So I was like, and it was kind of ironic to me because here I was like, you know, solid 5-6 years into real estate and I still hadn't done any general real estate, but I'd been working in the industry. So it was weird. But I love to teach people. I love to train. I knew the business. I knew how to do things. I know sales and marketing. So I helped a lot of agents. And then eventually after that, I got into luxury home sales, which was, again, working with builders. So I didn't necessarily have to have a license, although I did. And then it was like 10 years into my real estate career, I finally became a general realtor, like actual real estate.
Actual realtor, yeah.
And in Jacksonville, Florida, and I worked there, and I did great, man. I made so many sales and had so much fun. But, and then I started to realize as time's gone by, you make good investments and move money to places where you need to have it. And then you create passive income, and essentially you set yourself up for retirement. At least that's the idea, right? But so that's kind of what I did. And then yoga came into play because I was having a lot of health issues from TBI. So yoga kind of saved my life and became a thing for me. And then once I started doing it, people started to like my yoga. And so I got all these opportunities to travel, and I've been to 47 countries teaching.
Wow.
And I've had some of the most amazing experiences you could ever imagine. It's like showing up in Singapore. And people knowing who I am, knowing everything about my life because they follow me on social media, and I have no idea where Singapore is on a map.
Yeah.
So it was like, wow. And so then I went to Greece and Paris and on and on and on, always trying to stay close to the equator because I like the warm weather. And then, the yoga world came back here and did my podcast, and online yoga and travel teaching still, that kind of thing. But then I started getting into life coaching, and that gave me the opportunity to offer people the wisdom that I had from the yoga and the travel and everything else. So I started the podcast, and that's what I've been doing since then. And I've still got a active real estate license, an active realtor, and I do a couple real estate deals a year just to, sharpen my teeth to make sure I say. Yeah. Although now with all the new paperwork changes from NAR, I don't know if I'm gonna do any. If I do, I'm gonna have somebody process the paperwork. Oh wait, my new company does all that for me. I forgot. I'll tell you about them.
Okay.
So that's really kind of how it all happened. Yoga was essential. It was something I had to do in order to save myself. Real estate's always been my business, is the way I explain it to people. Photography's always been my art, and yoga has always been my passion. So those three things have allowed me to be diversified enough to never be recession proof.
Wow.
So I can always do one of the three, right? One of them will keep me going. So now podcasting gives me the opportunity. It's a really amazing story. People. Yeah, man, it's been great. And I'm not complaining a bit. I mean, I go through a lot of behind the scenes pain and suffering and agony and hard times. But, that's part of what I deal with. And it's part of my little secret that I keep to myself because I don't think it's necessary for anybody else to live that. But, it is what it is, right? Everyone has their struggles. It's how you deal with them that determines the kind of person you are.
Yeah.
If I can help people, helping people actually makes me feel better about myself. So
same here, man. Same here.
Giving people my heart and helping them out and being there for them helps me feel less depressed.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's kind of what it's been about for me.
Yeah, you sound like a go-giver, and your story kind of, with the yoga kind of sounds like I got really inspired by Diamond Dallas Page and his, he was a wrestler, and he did a whole thing with yoga, and it saved his life. He had back and all kinds of injuries from professional wrestling, and I myself am also trying to get disciplined and get to where I want to be in my own health with my mental discipline and my mindset shift and lose the weight that I want. I know that yoga is a huge part of that, and meditation is a huge part of that. I get up at 5:30 every day, and push myself and make myself go run and make myself do the exercise because it's just part of, it's a part of your well-being, and it's hard. It's not easy.
It's important to prioritize your health first because without it, you have nothing. But I offer a class on to realtors 8:30 on Friday. In the morning online. So if you'd like to come and take the class, you can. You can keep your screen off if you like. It's basics, very basics, and it's just like mostly breathing and me teaching you how a little bit of stretching and stuff. But yeah, you should definitely come and do it because that's health and wellness, understanding how to lose weight, understanding how to get yourself in shape, understanding how to clear out the chaos here is all stuff that I know how to do, and I do that kind of coaching all the time. So it's like, to me, it isn't anything. It's an easy process. I can tell you exactly what to do and how to do it. As long as you follow my instructions, you're going to be fine. But if you don't, I can't help that.
You don't work the program. It's not going to work.
Yeah, I tell people, I put people on the spot though. If they ask me to train them, I make life changing experience for them. I'll be like, well, are you willing to put your money where your mouth is? And they're like, what do you mean? I said, well, you even charge you $10,000 to train you, but but in 90 days, if you come to every single training and you're never late, I'll give you 5,000 back.
That's a pretty good deal. Yeah.
Right? Now they're incentivized.
Oh,
is it worth it? You want to sleep in? So I don't know. You want that $5,000?
Yeah, exactly. Right. Then people will get up.
I know I would. So, if they don't, I'm okay with that too. But I'm also just trying to inspire and motivate them because I'm retired. I don't need the money, but I do need them to have a value. They need to understand the importance of what they're doing. And there's no way for someone to put value to something unless it has a monetary value, because people track everything in that, which to me is silly because money is nothing, but whatever it takes to motivate people, I'll do. So it's kind of my game plan. But yeah, you should definitely jump on the 8:30 yoga. You'll love it. It's fun.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Just now starting out, and I think it's going to grow really quickly, and it's going to be free to my brokerage, which I'm sure you're going to jump on board with. But to everybody else right now, it's going to be free for just a little while until I get it up and rolling, because I'm just getting everything kicked off with this real estate podcast. Yeah. And Zach and I just partnered up, so it's been cool. Been really cool. Very exciting. So how long till you're headed out to the East Coast? I mean, what's your time frame?
Well, it's like, there's no like hard and fast time frame. My girlfriend's starting a bookkeeping business and I want to help her with that. And, in order for me to be in the East Coast, I feel like, as much as I love on market, I also love off market. I also am very passionate about wholesale and creative finance. And, I've been trying to build a business around that as well. That's taking a lot of time. It's obviously, once you get into things and you start to realize, how difficult they are, it's, the hill gets a little bit harder all the time, and I feel like that's a business that, I can be anywhere and do anywhere. Obviously I can get a license in Virginia or wherever I'm at. That's not a problem. If I did it here, I can do it there. And the laws are changing all the time. And if at some point, there probably won't be any more. At some point, everything will be regulated in one way or another, as it comes to doing things, in the way they're done now. There's a lot of states that have already said no more assignments, there's no more wholesaling, so if you think you're going to do that, you better do something else, because you're not going to sign the contract. So yeah, it's changing. The real estate market in general is changing so fast,
Yeah, it certainly is. And all the changes with NAR are making it nauseating because it's too much paperwork.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
I don't know what it's like in Florida, but I think here it's obviously you got to sign that agreement, that buyer broker agreement to go show property. I think here it's 3 properties or 30 days, whatever comes first. So, and then you got to do an addendum. So trying to explain that to someone who's buying a home, well, we can't actually go look at a home until we sign this. What am I signing? It just says that I can't show you a home and put in an offer until,
and they're like, we don't even know you, Ben. We don't even know.
We don't even know you. Like, what am I signing? What am I getting myself into?
So important. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, Mr. Gibbs, sir, we'd like to get to know you better first.
Yes.
You go, let me let you watch this podcast.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
And that could be the value right there.
It used to be that's what the warming up process was. Oh, let's go look at a house together. Let's see if we're a good fit. Right. See if the energy's right. Now you're like, well, got to push a bunch of paperwork in front of them and, make it weird,
And then you don't know if you're even getting paid, because they could be offering 1% commission, and who knows?
Well, exactly. And we don't. So then I'm explaining to them, they might be paying me, but you might be paying me. We don't know yet, because we haven't looked at the house. We look at the house and you decide, oh, I love this house. And then that seller says, I'm not paying no commissions. Okay, so you guys are you guys going to take care of me for all of the representation, the paperwork?
Or are we not going to do this?
Yeah, the favorable terms, all that,
Just see lawsuits out the wazoo. That's all I see from this. It's just going to be a mess, I think. I don't think it's going to go over real well. No one I know who's been in real estate for a while is excited about it, so that shows you something. But I think everybody. That's what this new company I went to work for does. Is they make everything easy for us. And so that's why I like them. They're a 21st century real estate company that offers benefits, for you, your family, your dog, childcare, things
Everything.
like that. AI, so report services, all your continuing ed, everything. So, I mean, and it's all included in one package, and it's one agency, and they're small. Getting in now is a good time to get in because it's going to grow fast. So I'll get you all that info, because if you're moving around a lot, you're going to need something national. That way you can be able to relocate easily. So I'll get you over to that stuff when we hang up on this thing. But yeah, man, been enjoyable. I've enjoyed talking with you. You did great. You were nervous?
Thank you, man. You sound like you know what you're doing, man. Yeah, I'm comfortable, obviously. I can talk to anybody all day long, man. Like, it just
man, you got the thing.
It's just fun for me, man, to connect with people, talk about real estate.
There you go.
It's my life, man.
And
so
if you want to do the yoga, do the yoga. If you want me to train you, let me know. I'll do it. I'll give you the program. I'll put you on my list. I'm happy to work with good people if they're willing to put the work in. I just don't like when people don't do what I ask. And then
I won't commit to anything I know I can't. That's what I said. The mindset, you got to commit to things. If you're not committed to it, don't be half in. I'm an all in or all out kind of guy. So
good. I can kind of tell. That's why I say I think you would do well. But I could easily change your life. I mean, drastically, quickly. Not even like it's not that hard. It just takes somebody knowing how to do it, right? And if you know that someone, and I have proof, you can go look at my Instagram and you'll see that, at 46 years old, I'm, 10% body fat, 235 pounds, 6'1". So, I mean, I'm basically in tip top shape, but I do that because I have to, because my body's so beat up from the injuries from military. So this keeps me vertical and out of a wheelchair. This is what I'm trying to stay out of.
Wow.
Well, I've been doing that for a long time.
Yeah, I think the yoga you're doing is amazing too. I've seen some of I looked at your Instagram and I saw you doing the yoga, and I was like, wow, this is impressive for a 6'1" guy. It's, over 2
big
pounds.
guy, yeah. Certainly not an easy thing to do.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to push myself too. I love the yoga because it pushes me. I find my limitations and I get to try to push through them and all that kind of stuff. So
that's right. Plus, you got to learn how to do this, control this guy, and that's the part.
You got to control this. This is it right here. Yeah.
The rest of it, really, I mean, you can't change a behavior without changing a belief. And I've got to change your belief that you can be what you want to be. And I've got to do that here for you to change your behaviors in order to become something different. And that's where you've got that's where having a coach is the only way you'll be successful at it, because it doesn't matter what you're doing. If you could do it by yourself, you'd already done it by now.
Absolutely.
And so if you're in a situation where you're at, find yourself a coach that motivates you and hire them, pay them, give them what they want. It doesn't matter. Your health is worth way more than anything that you have on paper. So
absolutely
figure that out and go, okay, I'm going to pay this person because they motivate me. They inspire me. You know what I mean? Like, and then it's just once that happens, you're looking at 6 months, bro. 6 months before you've got all new habits, all new body, all new everything, and you feel great about yourself. And then the rest of your life, you get to live without worry. I walk in, I don't even go to physicals anymore. My doctor's like, Chris, we know you're healthy. It's just embarrassing how healthy you are. You need to do your blood work. And I'm like, really? You're not even going to check it? No.
That's an amazing place to come in. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they're like, are you on cholesterol medicine? You have the best cholesterol I've ever seen in my life. And I'm like, no, I don't need medicine. So it's kind of cool, to be able to. And it's not that far away. Like I said, 6 months from now, you'll be on top of the world. So just commit to it and figure out where you want to be. I'll help you design that goal. We'll make it happen.
Sounds good, man. I like it.
Dan, I thank you for your time, brother. Appreciate you talking to me. We'll do this again. And we'll certainly stay in touch and message me after we hear, and we'll get you in touch with me.
You bet, man.
Get you set up on the real estate. Appreciate you, brother. Man. Namaste.
Appreciate you too, Chris. Have a good day, man. Take care.
Get you to see you, bro.